Let's talk about it. Come on and shout it. I talk, you talk, we talk. Women talk life. It ain't no surprise. Baby, you could see if you would open up your eyes. You won't understand if you can't open up your mind. So let's stop wasting time when women talk live.
And welcome to another episode of Women's Talk Live Overnights. What's going on, y'all? How you doing?
Hey,
How you doing? It's your girl, April J.
It's your girl, SassyScribe.
And this is K Elle.
K Elle's on the move. Still on the move today.
K Elle is the hardest working sister in Baltimore, y'all. Okay, so that's to me.
Yes, she
How
is.
Cardi B say, what chick working as hard as me?
You know, you do what you do. Do what you do. All right, y'all. First of all, I'd like to thank everybody for, tuning in, downloading our podcast show and listening and watching. We've been doing very well. I'm like, okay, we've been doing very well. So I'm happy and excited about that. So right. Right. All right, y'all. So today I thought we kind of shift a little bit and we talk about AI. So today's topic is the AI effect. It's a lot of talk about it.
Catfisher's dream.
What's that?
A catfisher's dream.
Right. But we're gonna get into some of the benefits, some of the fears that are out there, and some of the dangers, because there's some, a lot of stuff that goes in with AI. So, but here's a WTL fact. It is said that global AI market will reach $757.58 billion in 2025. And this year alone.
Jesus.
And is projected to grow to 3.68 trillion by 2034.
When is the rise of the machine?
Huh?
Right, we're at it. We're
getting there. We're getting there.
We're at it.
So 78% of organizations now use AI up from, in 2024, 78% of organizations use AI. And it was up 55% the year before. It says humanity finds itself at a critical juncture where AI transformative potential can be carefully balanced against its emerging risks and challenges. Mm-hmm. So I think everything that you do with computers, shopping, even, in what we do, media, it's AI is just like
AI touches every industry. I mean, every industry is touched by AI, and that's the advantages with new technology comes new knowledge, comes a lot of new things. Mm-hmm. But I think the biggest fear is the loss of human capital.
Right.
When it comes to that.
Right.
Because AI is just taking over everything. It's taking over everything.
It has.
And people have a legit
everything. They're starting to do emotions. They're starting to be able to learn on their own to, make decisions and things of that nature.
That's my fear.
The laws they haven't been updated on the books to be able to keep up with, the legality of it and the protection for the consumer. If an AI person or AI initiates something and a person gets hurt, like who's liable for that? And
Elon Musk.
There's no laws on the books. Yeah, the laws have not been able to keep up with the advancement of AI at all.
Now here's another little known fact. In the United States, we are investing $109.1 billion in private AI. And this is 11 times greater than China that's spending $9.3 billion.
Mm-hmm.
in investments for AI. So, I mean, we are investing in everything from um, FTA, healthcare, critical services. I mean, you see all the time where they're using machines to do surgery on people.
Yeah.
My surgery, the recent surgery I had was robotics, which is why I had to wait because they only do it once a month, which is why it took me so long to actually get on the schedule
What, the
Right.
robot
because
get
it's
tired?
a monthly surgery.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
It's
I just
less,
like,
it's supposed to be
I go
less
in the
invasive.
stores and those little machines start following you around with the beeps
Oh,
and
and
things like
BJ's.
that. Oh my God, that's the
Yes.
scariest thing
You,
ever. I'm like,
you,
what in the world?
I ain't gonna lie to you. I was in BJ's and I was standing there getting ready to, I was getting a case of water, get ready to put it in. And then I was looking at my phone at something. Oh no, I was looking to see what coupons they had. So I'm
mm-hmm.
going through my phone and I hear this beep and I'm looking around like, what is this beep? And then, yeah, and then I was like, what is that? And then I was just like, okay, maybe it's just something. And all of a sudden I turn around and there's this thing coming up and I was just like, what the?
Yep,
I was like, what
yep,
the hell?
I have not seen that in BJ's.
Yes,
yes.
it
Oh, they
rolls
all over.
around. Yeah, and it just
Yes,
comes up on you. And you're like, if you don't, it now, if I hear it, I know that, okay, it's somewhere around. But
I
that
hate that
first
thing.
time it came up on me, like, I was just like, what in the world? Like, I was like, but
What could it
You
do?
say
you
it's
can
taking
Did
ask it.
it do
inventory,
anything?
but it's probably scanning your phone and scanning your car. Like, you just never know. It's so
Right.
unsettling.
Now it comes up on the thing, may I help you or can I help you with something?
Yep.
So you can ask it. Say if you're looking for
Oh, I
something,
never engage.
you can ask it and it
I'd
will
be like,
tell
get
you.
the
No, I
fuck
never
out of
used
here.
it. I never used it.
I've
Go in the
never
other
engaged.
aisle, you little runt. Like,
Right. I was like, oh my gosh.
that
It
would
was
freak me out. See, it's see, I think of things like that is actually taking away that human capital where you used to have a customer rep or a representative of the store asking you, can they help you? Now they have these robots.
mm,
It to me it's akin to the self checkout.
right.
Self checkout to me is taking a job from somebody. That could be a teenager's job as a cashier or or bagging, because that's going to be next. Next, they're going to have a little machine at the end of the aisle where it'll just take your
It'll
stuff and
bag it.
bag it for you. It's just I don't
Well,
know.
I ain't
It
mad
creeps me
because
out.
if you've ever seen the lines at Sam's, I scan and go on a regular.
I
So
I
don't.
do too. I
I,
ain't
I
gonna
wait.
lie.
I
I
wait
use
in the line,
checkout
even in
most of the time.
Costco's. I will wait in line
mm-mm.
because I go to lunch at Costco's because of the samples and stuff, and I just go up and down. BJ's and Sam's don't have as many samples as Costco's.
Yeah, no, Costco's
No.
has a lot
Nope.
of samples. They do.
Costco's has a lot of samples, a lot.
Yeah.
And normally I end up buying the samples the same way when I go into Wegmans. And no, none of these industries and corporations that we are discussing are sponsors. They
No.
can be
But you can
of
be.
No.
Women Talk Live overnight podcast.
Exactly. You can be.
They can be, but it's like when I go into Wegmans. And the other thing that kills me is I went to the checkout. And this is what I don't like about a lot of these stores. I went to the checkout, and then you want me to stand at the door to show you my receipt. Then you just see me in line
Mhm.
full of
Yeah.
camera.
Right.
They chased
Well,
me out of
now
Costco
you can
the
check
other
out
day
at
because I
Sam's
was
and
like,
just
I'm
go
not
through the
showing you
aisle.
shit.
Say it
I'm
again.
not
When you
showing
go
you.
to Sam's, you can just go straight through. If they register, like when I do this scan and go, they
Mm-hmm.
have this little metal um, whatever, and it's like you can go straight through. So when they go to check my receipt, they like, oh no, we don't need to check your receipt. I'm like, what the hell? So it must have scanned like my phone through my app or whatever.
Yeah, it
But
does
yeah,
because I have a thing and it's like a barcode or something on it, and then they just
Mm-hmm.
scan it and then you go. But yeah, I mean,
no,
you have
Sam's, you just walk through an arch and it'll tell you it's a little skew and it'll be like, if you want to see how the machine works, scan this scan and it'll show you how the machine works. We'll explain how, the machine works. I'm like, what the
I
AI.
have
fuck?
seen
Like,
that.
I just hate the thought of constantly being surveilled at every turn.
Well, it's going to get
I don't
worse.
like that.
It's going to get worse with these projections that they have, but you also have these companies like those four new tech bros that they just put into the government, and they all own AI industries and AI companies. So if people were afraid, like my mother is terrified, she's always called telling me not to put her on face page.
I thought it was just my mother that says
No,
that.
my
Even
mother
though
was
she's
like,
on there. I
"Don't put
had
me
to
on face
unfriend
page."
I had to unfriend her.
Oh, my
Well,
But
mother
she
my
still
mother
still on
doesn't.
follows
Facebook.
me. She still follows me and sees my stuff. I'm like, okay.
But your mother is
Look,
at
my
least
sister
tech
and I had
savvy
to
enough to
educate
be
my
on
mom.
there. My mother is not tech savvy. She can play a game on her tablet, but as far as getting online, sending a text or anything like that, that is so far out of her realm. So she's looking at that, and I had to pull up Google Earth, and I said, "Look, this is the house that you live in. Look, this is my house. This is your daughter's house." I said, everything about you is already online.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everything. If
Yeah,
you
my
bank
mom.
online, it's there. If you
Right.
invest online, everything is already online. And what we as black people
Right.
is with that face recognition,
Mm-hmm.
AI can't recognize us.
Yeah,
I think it's
I
getting
had some
better as
issues
we have more
determining black
black
men.
coders and black developers. I think there's a
Right.
sister, but did I watch it on? I think it was on Netflix where this young black lady had invented the face recognition technology for African Americans or melanated individuals so that it can recognize us. Otherwise, they would have me, you, and Kim all looking the same way.
Okay, eyewitness testimony,
Yeah.
all jacked up.
I think it was another scary part. I saw this on one of the it was a news segment. I can't remember exactly what it was, but you had a guy and he was, dating this lady.
Hmm.
They had been together for probably about 3 years.
Hmm.
And but he had or was it his wife? I can't remember. But he had a girlfriend on the side. The girlfriend was AI generated. And the lady, his wife, fiance, or whoever it was, knew about it. And he was just like, I can go and talk to her about things I can't talk to my girlfriend or wife. It may have been his wife, to
Didn't
my
they make a
wife
movie?
about.
They made a movie about that.
And they even had the girlfriend. They interviewed the girlfriend
The
who was
AI.
AI generated, and they were asking her questions with him, and it was talking like, yeah, like they were in this relationship, and the AI generated knew about the wife and was like, well, I don't interfere in their relationship, but if he
Oh
needs,
wow.
to have, and I'm sitting there thinking to myself, what the fuck? I was like, what the
But you
hell is
think about,
this?
but think about this. Think about the fact that we have these, what are these incels, these type of men who can't buy a date. That would be their companion. I mean, they're already buying these blow up dolls. If y'all haven't had a look at the movie Lars and the Real Girl, watch it because this
Okay.
dude bought a mannequin online and then dressed her up and introduced her to his family as his girlfriend. Now, notice this is a non melanated family because if my brother brought home a mannequin and told me he wanted to introduce me to Keisha, and I'm gonna look at him and ask him what the hell is wrong with him, and let's get him committed for 72 hours just to see
Right.
what's going on.
Right.
I think it's going to be a lot of
Yeah.
men. It's going to be a
Yeah.
lot of dudes out here that's going to find that comfort
Yeah.
because nobody's more emotional than men. That's another
Right.
show, people.
But
But no one's more emotional than men.
what's even crazier? There's a series on Netflix called Black Mirror.
Yes.
And there was a
Yeah.
guy who had this AI whatever, and it did everything for him and all this stuff, and then at the end she actually became a real AI, like a person, and would not let him leave, would not let him have a girl. I was just like,
It was like misery. It was like misery
yes,
2.0. That's what he
yes.
get.
Oh my gosh. And this is what that story I saw on TV, I was just like, what? You have a real life person that you can touch, and you are like, you spend a lot of, you don't really talk too much to her, but you talk to your girlfriend, AI girlfriend on the side. And
And that's the
it
problem
just,
anyway. If you
it
can't
blew my
communicate with your
mind.
partner,
Yeah, it blew my mind. And then they did an interview with the guy, his wife, and they also had the AI generated
gotta
person.
unplug her.
And I was just like, I was
How
just
is
Run
like,
it
a magnet
AI?
over her motherboard.
Isn't that
But
one of the
yeah,
disadvantages of AI is the fact that it doesn't have any emotion? So how is he able to emotionally, because he is emotionally bonded with this
yes,
but they
artificial
will.
intelligence.
That's the whole point.
Now,
They're learning to have, to emulate and imitate emotions. They're learning how to think on themselves, to take a segment of data and actually make a decision without the input of the coder. So they're learning how to advance themselves online. That's the problem because
yeah,
once it realizes that it can learn and it can do this without you, then why would it need you? And if it's already superseding like a lot of the things that you do and it knows you, like, yeah, I'm terrified.
yeah.
I listen,
Oh,
I
you
think
know,
about them saying humanity is wrong and they press the new code. That's where I
yeah,
take it
Mm,
to the most extreme. We look at these movies. Movies are telling us this dystopian world could
mm-hmm,
yep,
possibly be here faster than we think. I mean, I
exactly,
won't even look at the movie Civil War because I think we are on the verge of that. Like they're literally two Americas. It's a blue
mm-hmm,
America and it's a red America. And I think AI has, as you said, KL, has learned how to exploit that.
mm-hmm.
Because we
you
were
know what's
talking
funny?
off camera what's real and what's not.
Right, right.
April and I both being PK kids. You remember in the Bible when it talked about everybody would have the mark of the beast. You wouldn't be able to shop without the mark of the beast in your hand. And so I used to think like a tattoo or they insert like a data chip, but now
It's
think
a MAGA
about
hat.
what we do with our phone. Our phone, we pay our bills with our phone, we communicate with people in our phone. People will literally decompensate if they don't have their phone. And it's
Right.
like you can't do anything without it. And it's just really it really started me thinking about, the end of times and how the world looks and the things, it's always wars and rumors of wars, but it's so many different things that have been spoken about that I'm like, where the hell did this technology and stuff
Mm-hmm.
all of a sudden come from? Like,
Right.
the FBI releasing the files about they found alien life forms. Like everybody was like, okay, we knew, but nobody like deep dived that shit. Like, what do you mean? Like, you got real life aliens? Like, what technology did they bring? What knowledge did they
Mm-hmm.
bring? What issues, poisons, whatever, toxins, any of those things? It's just they admitted that they were aliens, and everybody was like, okay.
Yeah.
It's kind of
Yeah.
like the
Well, I
what's the
think
guy, the Weinstein files or whatever, it's Epstein files. You heard about them, just never seen that shit yet.
well, you're never going to see the Epstein files because it
No.
involves too many
Too
important
many.
people,
Yeah.
heads
Yeah.
of states,
Exactly.
people that run nations
Right.
were running and tricking these teenage girls. And
Yeah.
y'all can like us or you can not like us, but
Mm-hmm.
you will never be able to convince me that the
Mm-hmm.
president of the United States, I
Oh
think
yeah.
Benjamin Netanyahu's on there. I think
Absolutely.
they have King
Absolutely.
Charles. I think
Yeah.
they have the
I do
Sultan of
too.
Brunei. I think they have these sheiks over there in Saudi Arabia and Qatar and all of these wealthy, wealthy, wealthy men. I bet Jeff Bezos is on there.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I bet it's a lot of folks.
And
I
and
bet it's a
and
lot of
KL,
folks.
you
All
said the
of
mark of the beast. The mark of the beast to me is that MAGA hat.
them.
I've never seen a more inhumane
Yeah.
group of individuals that do not care about humanity.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
But they'll be the
That's
main
very
ones
true.
screaming when AI replaces them.
Right. Right.
Oh, look, well, how they acted when people were calling them weird. They act like somebody was trying to bomb the Capitol
Mm.
just because they were being called
Well,
weird.
they are
You're
weird.
weird.
Yeah.
You're
You know.
weird,
You know
dude.
what else is
They
scary?
are weird.
what else is scary is I read somewhere where Elon Musk is coming up with these robots that can carry a baby to term.
I'm done.
Hmm.
I actually
This
saw that, and
is
I was a
again.
little. I was just like, what if I said, what the hell am I reading? But I just happened to read that he is actually where, um, because you have surrogacy, that these robots would be able to not only come in and clean your house and all this other stuff, but would
Girl, your
be
baby for
able,
you.
yeah, will be able to carry your baby to term. And I was
Here's the
just
thing,
like,
though. Aren't they doing that already with that young black girl in Georgia that's technically dead? They're
Yep.
using her body as an incubator
We talked
for
about
this
that last
baby.
show.
Right, we
well,
talked about that on a previous show. So
we never
now,
know why. They always use
understand,
the black woman's body, if you think
To
about
do
it,
experiments
to
on.
yes, they
experiment.
did.
Look about the
Yes, they
lady
did.
that was here in Baltimore, John Hopkins. To this day, is still using
Henrietta
her
Lacks.
DNA. Still
Henrietta
using
Lacks.
her DNA
Yes,
to cure
because
even the latest
Vaccines,
we have the
everything.
mitochondrial
vaccines.
DNA of everybody on Earth.
Yes.
Yep.
That's the
Yes.
beauty of the blackness. That's what
Yes.
they don't understand. I saw a video the other day, and I think I reposted it, where this white guy was talking and said, "Black women, black people are the earth, and we are the roots of
I mean,
everything."
we're the
And
original.
if we have Elon trying to create babies, is to preserve whiteness, because white people are the minority throughout the world. The
Yeah.
world as a
Right.
majority is melanated.
I think
Singapore, the Philippines,
yeah,
those are brown folk.
right. I think in my mind, and a lot of people, hey, you can say whatever you want. I could give two fucks. But I believe at one time, black people, not only were we originally here, but I think at one point we did rule this, globally rule, and I think that's
We
why we are so hated.
we did.
So that, and
Listen,
they,
Egypt,
but you can't let people
Cleopatra,
tell, you can't let people will tell you, I'm not, yes, yes.
Sicilians are black. Like, you look at this, people don't even understand. You talk about the Middle East. The Middle East is Northern Africa.
Yeah, I
They
know.
fucking
Yeah.
Africans.
Right.
They're Africans.
Yeah. Right.
So you can be Saudi Arabian, you can be Israeli. I remember when I worked at a synagogue, and I saw it, during the high holy season, when they would have their services, which is something black people need to take a little look at, on how the Jewish community makes money. They charge you for every event that goes on in those synagogues. Anyway, but you have to be a member. Non-members have to pay. But anyway, this guy walked in, and I had to do a double take when he came in. I was like, and I like looked at him again, and you could see right around his eyes, right here through his nose. And I said, this is a black man, but he has the privilege of white skin. So he's going to go as a white adjacent individual. But I'm looking at him like Taraji P. Henson said in, what was that movie? You black just like me. What you talking about, you people?
You
you
know what?
black just like me.
Somebody said this to me, and it really kind of made me think. Not to kind of go off topic, but somebody said to me, Jewish is a religion, it's not a people.
Facts.
So it's
It-
like you have African Americans, or Africans, or you have, I mean, even if you go to Israel, you have Israelis. They're not Jews. They're not Jewish. Jewish and that's not a nationality. That's a religion. And I had
Yep.
to really
Palestinians.
think about that. I was like, that's interesting.
I think the Palestinians are the black people of Israel, and that's why they don't like it. That's how I look at it.
I think
Hmm.
I think all in all, black people are the original
Kim, I'm getting a
All
little
day.
feedback.
Hebrews. So but yeah. But yeah,
Hold on.
so I think I want to kind of let me see. It was another one that I wanted to kind of bring up. Let's see, about risk. So cybersecurity threats and weaponized AI. Um it's become a very powerful tool of cyber criminals and creating new categories of security threats. So AI is also, like, I think during the presidential election, you had between, I guess, whatever, China, Russia, whatever, developing these videos of, Biden saying stuff that, he didn't
Very
say,
true.
or Kamala Harris saying stuff that she didn't say. And you're finding a lot of these people using trusted faces that people look up to, or look at, or use it to either, even like, say, Obama. I saw a fake video of him saying stuff like he was endorsing Trump or something.
Right. Which
And
we all know
people
was
are
fake.
being fooled by this. Like, they're literally being fooled by this.
I think idiots are being fooled by it, because one of the things that we've noticed, and I think we've noticed it since Trump got elected the first time, is how fucking stupid that Republican base is,
Yeah.
and how gullible a lot of people are.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we realize that. So those individuals are easily duped.
Mm-hmm.
We know that Obama and Biden and Kamala didn't say any of the things
Right.
that they tried to make them say. But
Right.
you had a third of this nation who believed it.
Yeah.
And a third of this nation votes all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, what are they going to do when AI starts removing their vote?
Right. We'll see.
Because they don't see that happening.
Yeah, they don't see it happening.
They don't see that happening. But yeah, AI, to me, it's like the internet. It's a blessing and it's a curse. Like, I remember before this open AI things came out, if I needed to cuss somebody out professionally at work, I would type it into this website, like Grammarly or something, and they would rephrase it for me, which is another form of AI, right? But now I just go to an open AI and I tell them what I want it to do, and it'll do it. It just created a 14-day itinerary for me to do a food tour of Italy in 2027. It named the dates, the best times to go, the hotels.
Yeah.
And all of the hotels were cheap except for one. It was like $800 a night.
You can write a whole book with AI.
I should finish up these. Look, I should finish up these last 5 manuscripts that I got sitting out here.
I'm telling you.
If you read it, what you need to say, it'll write the whole thing for you.
Write the whole thing for you. That's true. All right, y'all. So that leads to our this week's poll question, which is: have you ever been tricked by AI?
And don't bring me up, y'all, because I get in trouble all the time on Facebook.
Oh man! But our poll from last week, we asked, do you agree with Trump bombing Iran? So we have 40% said yes, and 53% said no.
The fuck is wrong with 40%?
Wait, who's listening to us?
You'd be surprised. All right, so but here's the breakdown. Here's the breakdown. Here's the breakdown. So of men, 38% support bombing the Iranian facilities. 44% of men opposed. And of women, 21% support and 48% opposed.
This man bombed a nation after creating an issue that, mind you, Obama had fixed without firing one missile.
Yep.
But because Obama fixed it, this dickhead had to go and create an issue so that it made his dick hard to pull that trigger and say, let's bomb him. While he's sitting in the Situation Room with a fucking MAGA hat on. This man has got to go. Sooner
Then he
rather
said
than
he
later.
felt like a warrior, and he did it without congressional approval. So that alone
He's
should
a
get him.
bitch. He's a bitch. And the Supreme Court, don't even get me started. Let's stop the show. Let's stop the show. Let's stop the show. Because the Supreme Court is, I mean, we are walking straight into a dictatorship and people ain't paying attention. They are not paying attention, but it ain't on black people to fix it. We did our job November 2024. Y'all
Yeah.
got to fix this shit.
Yeah.
And by y'all, the non-melanated and
Right.
the melanated, non-melanated adjacent.
Adjacent. All right, y'all. So based on our show today, I had an interesting little fact. Well, not interesting fact, but it's kind of final thought, but it kind of goes into life before computers. All right, so here we go.
Okay.
Memory was something that you lost with age. An application was for employment. A program was a TV show. A cursor used profanity. A keyboard was a piano. A web was a spider's home. A virus was the flu. A CD was a bank account. A hard drive was a long trip on the road. A mouse pad was where a mouse lived. And if you had a 3.5-inch floppy disk, you just hope nobody found out.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Oh, that was dope. I like that.
All right, y'all.
Oh my
This is
God.
Women's Talk Live overnight with your girl, April J.
I'm SassyScribe.
And this is K Elle.
All right, we'll see y'all next time.
Peace.
Women talk, women talk.